you have created an application and that requires to run a very big task. For example, let's say you have an application which is a banking application, and let's say you are sending a monthly invoice to the customer, and one customer have thousands of records. Whenever customer will ask something to generate the statement, what you can do a sync processing and you can do async processing. Let me show you what is that. So this is your banking application and this is your database. The banking application is connected to the database. Let's say you have a front end, any kind of language that is required, and this front end is connected to the banking database backend. And there is an user who is using this banking application and he is asking to generate the last 6 months bank statement. I'm going to show you a step-by-step guide to set up the application, set up the GUI view, set up UI as well. So let's get started. We're going to create a folder called YT and check out to this YT, and now we are going to set up on PDIR May 26. Let's set up our project. So for this we are also going to use TypeScript. Let's do npm init y. Okay, nvm install 2022. This is the latest node.js version. npm install TypeScript. Let's set up all the root IDs. Now we are going to create Docker file. With that Docker file, I'm going to install Redis. So let me do that. Okay, everything is set up. Let's pull this up. Either if you don't know what I'm doing using Docker, you can watch my previous video where I have described key details about Docker already. You can watch this video and come back to this again. Let me pull this up. Now we are going to install the bull. Let me install it. npm install bull. Once we have started it, also what we need to do, we are going to install the co-op. npm install co-op. This is a client. We need to install the types. Let's install the types, this co-op, because co-op did not come with types itself. Now everything is done. Let's create source folder. Let's write the main.ts, import. And after that, run it console.log. Okay, so everything should be done. Let's set up our div. So what we need to do is div ts node. Now I'm going to install ts node. Let's test this application. And div application is running on. Yeah, so everything is set up and now it's done. Let's create our first endpoint. Okay, we are going to get an application, and based on that endpoint we are going to do some kind of task. So we are going to write the mimic behavior of, we are going to first install this Kua router. To install this we need to run two commands, this and this. According to the README and documentation, we need to import the router from this. We need to also use this thing called router.allowed method So this will allow us to implement the routers, something like with very minimal and clean way. So let's write this endpoint. This endpoint will set a like so, and based on this keyword, we are going to have these two things: CTX and next context and next function. We need to add this to the router, add this to the queue, and return success. CTX dot model full message. Now what we need to do? We need to initialize the queue. So to initialize the queue, we are going to create a queue.ts file. And first of all, let's initialize this. So and now we are going to name it something. Okay. Download, and we need to provide this object. Remember, we have set this password here. Export it. We need to do one more thing. We need to add this to the queue. From the get parameters, we are going to get the images. First, in the query parameters, we are going to add it, we are going to download it, we are going to resize it, and submit it to the database. Because this is the simplest thing that I can remember. I can show you when it failed, when it's success, where it's implied. ctx.valid. One more thing, guys. We are going to install Jod library. Import query z.object lineage URL and z. It should be like string. It should be like URL and query dot parse and ctx dot query. So it's something like assertion. It's the assertion we need to add to the queue. We are going to import this queue library image. To reach the queue, there is a pre-steps. I'm showing the pre-steps, how you can do it. I'm showing you all the things that needs to be done in the proper way to reach to the queue, because queue is a very simple thing, but before steps is very important, because if your queue data is not persistent and not quite right, you cannot have a queue working properly. So this is one of the most important things, remember. Let's try to add it and see the errors. Everything is correct in order. We need to send the right one. Of one image in the new tab that we want to pass, and let's submit it. Let's submit it, and yeah, it is added to the queue. So let me mount to the queue database and see what data has been added. We are going to install our interface, okay, a UI to see the running jobs. So core bun UI. So npm install so since everything has been installed, create a separate file called node.js adapter. We are not using MQ, so we are going to use the simple adapter. And now what we need to use it, we need to okay, we have initialized the server base path. UI is also initialized. So how we can see everything is powered on. So we can go to this 3000 plus more. And you can see that the one job is already been waiting. Why this is waiting? Because we did not process it. Why we did not process it? We did not created a process function to run this. To run this thing, we need to simply write a process.ts function. Let's write it. Okay, after a lot of retry, everything else has been processed one by one. There is no load on the server. So yeah, this is for async. So this library we are going to utilize it to first download the image from the third-party server, load it, and do some kind of trick and save it to the database. But we can show you what actually it will look like. We are going to download it, save it, rotate it, and again save it. That's all. Now we are going to import why I did this. This is to do this is as one of the most important thing because I want to make atomic distinction, meaning that every function will have its atomic distinction. So this will as the individual validate as a string. So if this is not a valid URL, this will throw an error. And config is response type string. And then what we need to do according to the God itself, response so let's test it. You can see that our load is not increasing, our files are increasing a lot. So it's a nice thing. So first of all, let's close it. So let's try because it has changed it a lot. Input file contains unsupported image format, and that's it. That's what we needed. Let me send it invalid URL. This will accept it, but it will throw an error. No, sorry, it's 40%. Now it's checking, so it's 50%, and it's sort of like 30%. And yeah, that's all we need to do. A successful route, and as original path converted file. And yeah, that's all. So we can do this thing in a async manner without overloading our computer. This is the process that I want to do. I want to show how you can see the progress, how you can see the logs, how you can do all those kind of things that has been required by a simple queue system. So let's try. Let's try to see if it has any kind of packet. So this is an invalid image. It should throw an error. Yeah, from 7 to 12, we have this to 12. Now let's check if I am sending it right URL but wrong file type. Yeah, it's also right. Let's send in the right file. Copy, open image in a new tab. Okay, and left side. Yeah, everything we shall say 52. We can see that it is 100% completed, which is 100% completed. And now you can see it's 40% completed. And you can see that all the logs have been solved. Also, I want to cover one thing. Sometimes the internet is slow, the input and output request is slow. So it may take 1 or 2 tries to successful a job. How we can configure it? To configure it, we can come to this queue. We can either add it here or we can add it to the main object here. But for the sake of the simplicity, I'm going to Async here. So by default, it should be set up to 20 or 30 seconds, but it should be like 30 seconds by default. So you can say something like, I can say 30,000, meaning that 30 seconds. We can say 60,000, it should take 60 seconds. And then, so let's say it should take 3 attempts. If the first one is finished, first one has been failed, then it should try second time. If the second time has been failed, let's try third time. If the third time has failed, it should go to the I have all the job completed and all the job has failed. There is no waiting, there is no active. Okay, so let me change it. Let me change this 0. Okay, and let me edit. Here log 3 times. If I take something like 5 times, the log should be like 5 times. Yeah. So it has already been tried 5 times and all the 5 times has been failed. So yeah, this is a short video on the queuing system. I'm going to post this code on GitHub so you can use it as an example behavior and you can continue. You can send me your feedback that what you have liked it or not liked it and whatever you want, whatever area that you want to improve on. I will create a video. I will answer you and all the top 5 comments I'm going to read out loud and answer them in the next video. So please do comment, please like it, subscribe it, and see you in the next video.